Thank you. I'm passionate about promoting well-being in children and families, and my research focuses on understanding well-being and resilience in children when their families are experiencing significant stress and adversity. And today I want to talk about the critical role that parents play in raising resilient children when their families are living in a context of low income and poverty. I recently was contacted by a mom who was looking for some support. She was telling us that she's struggling financially. She struggles with substance use problems off and on, and she associates those with the abuse and adversity she experienced as a child. And she wasn't sure what her living situation was going to be, so it was going to be hard to contact her. But she wasn't looking for support with any of that. She was looking for support with her parenting, because she said she knew that it was her job to make sure her child didn't experience the adversity that she experienced as a child. She knew that she plays a critical role in supporting her child's well-being. Poverty is a significant public health concern. 1 in 5 children in the United States is living at or near poverty. And those kids are at increased risk for a number of assaults to their well-being. They're more likely to have physical health problems, more likely to have academic, social, and emotional problems, and more likely to have mental health problems, among other things. So we should ask ourselves, why is poverty having such a widespread impact on so many aspects of a child's well-being? Children and families living in low income and poverty experience, or are more likely to experience, extraordinary amounts of strain and stress and adversity. Families may be struggling with providing basic needs for their family, their housing and nutrition. They may be struggling with unpredictable work hours or unacceptable work hours, with finding childcare, and with accessing health and mental health and substance use care. In fact, many adults living in poverty themselves experienced significant adversity as children and are struggling with mental health and substance use issues. So these kinds of stressors and strains and the experiences of adversity in a low-income household has a direct effect on children's well-being. Growing up in a context of chronic and pervasive stress undermines the very foundations of a child's well-being by disrupting the neurobiological systems that underlie their self-regulation. Our research shows that children growing up in low income or poverty are more likely to have a disrupted cortisol system, their neuroendocrine or hormone stress response system. They're also more likely to have lower executive function, and that's our cognitive control system that controls our attention, our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. And they're more likely to have disrupted physiologically based emotion regulation systems. But the stress is not the only thing that impacts those systems. Parenting plays a critical and central role in shaping the development of those neurobiological systems underlying self-regulation. When a parent maintains effective parenting, even in the face of adversity, and we always marvel at the number of parents who maintain effective parenting in the face of adversity, their children are more likely to be resilient. In our research, we found that when parents were able to maintain a warm, accepting, nurturing relationship with their child, their children had more regulated neuroendocrine stress response systems. And that supports their executive function and emotion regulation development. And when parents were able to provide this unique balance that many educators know about, of balancing giving children independence and autonomy in solving their problems while also providing just the right amount of support and guidance, and when parents were able to provide an environment that was consistent and predictable, those children had better executive functioning. And that supports their academic, social, and emotional well-being. But we also know from our research that in a context of low income or poverty and the strain that goes along with that, parent well-being can be taxed and their parenting can be compromised. Just think of yourselves for a minute. Think about when you've had a rough day. You had a conflict with someone, something went wrong at work, you sat in traffic twice as long as you normally do, or your car broke down, and you get home, and you're interacting with your family or your friends, and it's not that easy to be pleasant or patient or responsive. Now add to that the concern and the strain that you might not be able to make your rent payment and your family might be homeless in a couple weeks. Or that you might lose your job because your car broke down and you can't get there. Or you might lose your job because they changed your work hours and you can't figure out the childcare that you need. Those kinds of stressors and many more happen more often in a context of low income and poverty. They tax and take a toll on a parent's well-being and their parenting, and our children pay the price. If we want to disrupt this cascade of adversity associated with low income and poverty, we need to understand that supporting parent well-being and quality of parenting, the effective parenting that parents have, is essential for parents to do their role, their job of raising children with positive academic, social, and emotional well-being with resilience. If we want to raise resilient children, we need to make top priority family-friendly policies that ensure stable housing and nutrition, that ensure reasonable, predictable work hours, family leave, that give parents access to high-quality, affordable childcare and access to health and mental health and substance use care, so that we can support parents and effective parenting and their role in raising resilient children. Think of that mom I mentioned earlier. What if she didn't have to worry about where her and her child were going to live? What if she could get the mental health and substance use treatment she needs to address her own history of abuse and adversity? And what if we could share with her what we know about effective parenting that promotes child well-being and resilience? What if we could support her in her goal to raise a resilient child? Imagine that. Thank you.